What's going on, y'all? It's your man, Stephen Bardo, coming at you with another edition of Bardo's Breakdown. I am battling it, y'all. I'm a little bit under the weather. So if my energy level is not where it is and my voice sounds a little bit crazy, please forgive me. But gutting it out today, not a little bit under the weather. Hope you guys are doing better than I am. Hope everybody is, has had a great weekend. We had quite a bit of movement going on in the Big Ten Conference to set up the seeding for the Big Ten tournament. And so we'll get into all that and more here on Bardo's Breakdown. But first, you saw that ad at the top. Go to bardostribe.com and get your free copy of Triple Threat, Stephen Bardo's Guide to Basketball Terminology. You got some fun hip-hop, jazz phrases in there, and you'll be joined on the email list. So make sure you go and get your free. It's free money, y'all. It's free. I don't blow you up. Just add you to the mailing list. Go to Bardo's Tribe. That's with an S, BARDOS tribe.com to get your free copy of Triple Threat. Or you can join the tribe via text 312-847-2739. Again, join the inner circle. That is the tribe. You can go via text message 312-847-2739. All right. Let's get into it. So we're here, y'all. We're at the end of the regular season. Now it's March Madness for real. And I think what I want to do, I'm going to talk about the Illinois versus Iowa game first, and then I'll get into my all Big Ten selections, and then I'll take your questions. And we'll break down the tournament schedule as well. How's that sound? Okay, great. I can hear you guys like, woohoo. Woo, I'm trying to generate some energy, y'all. Let's see, where are we? Let's take a look at the Fighting Illini deep dive. I was fortunate enough to be on the call yesterday for Illinois smackdown of Iowa. And, the Illinois fans really showed up and showed out. And I was calling the game with Brandon Gaudin. And I wanted to say on the air, I wanted to stress on the air that the Illini fans really showed up, showed out, and they were boisterous. They were, very appreciative of their team's effort in Iowa City. And I said on the air that Illinois fans haven't had a lot of opportunities to cheer in Iowa City. Illinois had lost 3 of the last 4 going over there. I know I never won over there. So Illinois teams and programs, I'm sure there was a stint where they had some success. But generally speaking, Iowa's had our number in Carver Hawkeye Arena. So to see Illinois play the way that they did, winning 73-61, Iowa closed the deficit to within 4 points. The crowd tried to get into it, and then Illinois made plays. They really weren't threatened, in my opinion. I never felt like Iowa. It felt like Iowa behind Brock Harding, the freshman that came off the bench, because Tony Perkins had one of his worst games on senior day. I felt bad for him. 1 of 12 from the field, 2 points. He was in foul trouble. He just couldn't get things going. Brock Harding came off the bench and did a really good job, gave him a lot of energy. And there was a point where he connected with Owen Freeman a couple times on some pick and roll situations. They got some buckets and ones, and they got back into the game. But then Illinois punched them right back in the mouth, and it was the best defense I've seen Illinois play all season, and it's not even close. I mean, Iowa can score on most teams, but Illinois cut their water off. Ben Krikke was 0 of 2. He had 2 points. Owen Freeman, I think, got up into double digits, but it wasn't. Peyton Sanford had to struggle to get into he got in double digits, but it wasn't easy for him. He really had to work at it. So I'm going to pull up that game yesterday and the box score, and let me share it with you guys. So Owen Freeman had 8 points, 8 rebounds. I love this freshman. He's my Big Ten freshman of the year. Ben Krikke was 0 of 2. He only played 14 minutes and only had 2 points. Peyton Sanford had 23 points, but he had to take 19 shots to get it. Josh Dix had 13 points. He had to take 13 shots to get it. So, and Brock Harding was 2 of 7. Iowa shot 35% from the field. This is one of the better offensive teams in the country. And Illinois just dominated them, beat them up on the glass, 50-33. It was something, y'all. I was impressed. And so in the post-game interviews, when I'm talking to Brad Underwood and Quincy Guerrier, Quincy talked about they had gotten away from their identity. And at the beginning of the year, excuse my voice, guys. At the beginning of the year, they wanted to be, Brad Underwood's, typically his teams are known for their toughness and defense and rebounding. Well, this Illini team is one of the best rebounding teams in the country, so they've got that down pat. But defensively, they've been a sieve up until this point. They weren't bad against Purdue. They were better against Purdue, but they really, really stepped it up against Iowa. So it was good to see. And Brad Underwood had a poker. He had like a smile of a poker dealer, kind of like he knew what was coming. And he wasn't nearly as animated as he normally is on the sidelines. Maybe because Illinois, I don't know, they were locked into the 2 seed. They're just trying to get better, trying to get ready for the Big Ten Conference tournament, trying to get ready for the NCAA tournament. So big ups to them. And defensively, like I said before, Perkins was 1 of 10, 2 points. Cricket was 0 of 2, 2 points. These guys are double-figure scorers. Hawkeyes were out-rebounded. They shot 35%, and they were 7 of 21 from the 3. This just doesn't happen a lot with Iowa. There's not many teams that can slow them down like that. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, so big ups to the Illini putting together their best effort. It seems like coming at the right time because Illinois, yeah, they've had great regular season success. Yes, they've been, if not the winningest team in the last 5 years in the Big Ten Conference, right there with Purdue. But the results I think I'm going to take my analyst hat off. I'm going to put my former players hat on. I think it's safe to say that most in the Illini Nation want to see a second weekend at least. I don't think it would leave a terribly sour taste in my mouth anyway, similar to Illinois getting beat by Loyola in the second round and the fashion at which they did, and they almost had a defeatist attitude in the second half. That can't happen. We need to see better results in the NCAA tournament. I want to go through this real quick, give you guys, before I give you the schedule and my Big Ten selections. No, let's not do that. Let me go to my Big Ten selections, and we'll talk about the schedule for the tournament. Let's do that. All right. This is my all Big Ten first team ballot, and this is Ryan, my producer, did an excellent job putting these together. Zach Edey, Purdue, Terrence Shannon Jr., U of I, Jameer Young, Maryland, Boo Buie, Northwestern, Braden Smith, Purdue. All right, that's first team. Does anybody have any questions or anything on that? Let me see if anybody's commenting on that yet. No, people haven't said anything. Nice list. Okay. All right. So let me go back. So this is my first team. My second team, Marcus Damask, Illinois, Tyson Walker, Michigan State, Brooks Barnheiser, Northwestern, AJ Storr had an outstanding year with Wisconsin, and Peyton Sanford before yesterday was playing as well as anybody in the Big Ten. All Big Ten third team, Khalil Ware, who could have easily, had he been more consistent early in the year, he could have easily been on the second team. Keisei Tominaga, Nebraska, Ace Baldwin Jr., Penn State. Lance Jones, I thought he needed all Big Ten recognition. I think he's been the key and the X factor to why Purdue has been better this season. Yes, Edey got better. Yes, Fletcher Lawyer and Braden Smith got better. But Lance Jones gives Purdue a level of quickness, toughness, shot-making ability that they didn't have before. And I think he needs recognition along with Coleman Hawkins at Illinois based on his versatility and what he means to Illinois. All right, all freshman team. Now, it's funny because David Howell, the Big Ten Conference, he sent out the ballots for people in the media and whoever gets to vote on this. And there was a tie. Owen Freeman, Cam Christie, and Mackenzie Mbako. And so we had to resend our selections. So here's my all Big Ten first team freshman. Owen Freeman, Iowa. John Blackwell, my nephew, Wisconsin, balling out. Had a great game yesterday or Saturday at Purdue. Cam Christie at Minnesota had an outstanding second half of the season, as did Mackenzie Mbako of Indiana. And Deshaun Harris-Smith got better. He started to get better as the season went along. His shooting still was not the best. Pardon me, guys. I'll clear my nose. He's getting better with his shot, and I just think he was overrated in high school. I don't think he was he shouldn't have been as highly rated as he was. But I put him, he's my last freshman on the All Big Ten freshman team. All Big Ten defensive team ballot, and I hope Rayfield Davis is watching. Coleman Hawkins at Illinois, Ace Baldwin Jr., Penn State, Cliff Amore, Rutgers, Jawan Gary, Nebraska, and Chucky Hepburn, Wisconsin. All right, drum roll. Big Ten Player of the Year is the easiest. It's Zach Edey. I don't think there's any question about it. Zach Edey has been the most dominant player in college basketball, let alone the Big Ten, and he just continues to get better. So congratulations to Zach Edey. Sixth Man of the Year, Mason Gillis, grown-ass man is what I like to call him. He is really, you talk about role acceptance. Purdue has done that as well as any team in the league, and that's one of the reasons why they're first. Mason Gillis could have been upset in his diminished role over the years, but he's really stepped up, become an outstanding three-point shooter. He's one of the toughest guys in the Big Ten Conference. Gritty defender, rebounder. So big ups to Mason Gillis, Sixth Man of the Year. Coach of the Year. This is not going to be a popular choice, I know. I was going between Fred Hoiberg, Matt Painter, but I'm going to go with Ben Johnson because no one expected Minnesota to be anywhere near where they've been. Now, they haven't finished well, which we'll get to in a minute. Minnesota is kind of limping into the tournament as a ninth seed, where there was a point where they were really bumping up into the fifth or sixth seed, but they kind of stumbled down the stretch. But my coach of the year has been Johnson, Minnesota. I think he's done a heck of a job. Assistant coach of the year. There's a who's it named after? Oh, Howard Moore, who had a tragic car accident. His wife and his daughter passed away. He's a quadriplegic. He's had some serious health issues, and he's not returned to the same. So the Big Ten Conference comes up with an assistant coach of the year, and it's Brandon Brantley. No one talks about Coach Brantley at all in Purdue's success. Who do you think works out Zach Edey? Brandon Brantley. Who got Isaac? What's Isaac's last name? Not Matt Harms. Isaac. Huge kid. Brandon Brantley. Biggie. God rest his soul. God, I'm forgetting the bigs from Purdue. All these bigs, Brandon Brantley has had his hand in developing. And so Brandon Brantley is my assistant coach of the year. The freshman of the year is Owen Freeman for me of Iowa. Now, I got love from my nephew, John Blackwell, Wisconsin, but I think the total body of work throughout the year, Owen Freeman really, really stuck out, in my opinion, as the Big Ten freshman of the year. All right, let's get back over here. So, oh boy, I got some comments. I'll get to those here in a second. I don't know if you guys like what I'm doing or not. Last regular season Big Ten Player of the Week goes to Zach Edey of Purdue. He was dominant once again in their home win over Wisconsin. And the same player, Big Ten Freshman of the Week, John Blackwell of Wisconsin, in that same game was dominant for the Badgers. So Zach Edey and John Blackwell wrap up the Big Ten Player and Big Ten Freshman of the Week for the regular season. All right. So here's what I flashed earlier, but I want to see what you guys think. Big Ten stock I'm buying going into the Big Ten Conference Tournament. Teams is what I'm talking about. So Purdue has won 5 straight. They got the longest streak in the conference. Ohio State and Indiana right behind them. Winners of 4 straight each. And Illinois is coming off its best performance, in my opinion, on the road all season. And Nebraska's won 6 of their last 7. So Purdue, Ohio State, Indiana, Illinois, and Nebraska are teams, to me, who are playing the best basketball entering the Big Ten Conference Tournament, and that I think I like them in terms of continuing their success. We'll look at the matchups and the seeding here in a second, but I like these teams. Now, Big Ten stocks I'm dumping right now. Wisconsin, 3 of 8, 3 wins in their last 11 games, really licking their chops trying to figure something out. Minnesota, they've looked really poor the last couple games. They had a very important home game against Indiana last Wednesday that I was on the call for, and Indiana beat the brakes off of them. I mean, it wasn't even close. And defensively, Indiana was they were stifling. And so Minnesota's stumbled down the stretch. Michigan State is been stumbling. They've been the most inconsistent team, in my opinion, in the Big Ten. They're limping in, only having won one game in the last 5 games. So those are the Big Ten teams who, unless they can right the ship in the next couple of days, they're trending downward. And so those would be teams to look at. Okay. All right. So I put these in. I'll put them up. I put these in because they might be a little bit hard to read. Wednesday's schedule. Peacock has both the games on Wednesday. There's only 2 games on Wednesday. 12-seeded Maryland versus 13-seeded Rutgers at 5:30 Central. And then 11-seeded Penn State versus 14-seed Michigan, 25 minutes following the completion of game 1. Both of those games will be on Peacock. That'll be Noah Eagle and Robbie Hummel on the call for those, okay? And then Thursday and Friday, Big Ten Network have all the games. So you go Wednesday, the 2 games are on Peacock, NBC. Thursday, Friday, all the games are on Big Ten Network. Friday, Saturday, I think it's CBS. Semis. Yeah, semis and finals are on CBS. All right. So this is Thursdays when it starts to really get good to me. And I've got the early sessions on Thursday and Friday. So I've got Michigan State versus Minnesota to kick it off at 11 a.m. And I've got the following game, Wisconsin versus the winner of Maryland or Rutgers. So those are going to be pretty good games. And then the nightcap games are number 7 seed Iowa versus number 10 seed Ohio State. 2 of the hotter teams coming in. And the winner of that game will get Illinois on Friday. Game 6, number 6 seed Indiana versus the winner of number 11 seed Penn State versus number 14 seed Michigan. So those are the nightcap games. Me and Brandon Gaudin will have the first 2 games on Thursday. And then Kevin Kugler and Robbie Hummel will have the evening games on Thursday. Me and Kevin Kugler will have the morning early sessions on Friday, early 2 games on Friday. And then Brandon Gaudin and Robbie Hummel will have the evening games on Friday. So that was Thursday's lineup. Friday's lineup. Game 7 will be number 1 seed Purdue against game 3 winner, which would be where's game 3? The winner of Michigan State versus Minnesota. Now, from a network standpoint, Michigan State versus Purdue in the quarterfinals would be pretty good. That'd be a heavyweight matchup. So game 7, first game of the day, Purdue versus the winner of Michigan State and Minnesota. The next game, game 8, number 4 seed Northwestern will go against the winner of Wisconsin or Maryland or Rutgers. That'll be game number 4. That'll be the second game in the early session. So I'll be on game 7, game 8. The next 2 games on Friday, Illinois will play the winner of game 5, which is Wisconsin, Maryland or Rutgers. And then, no, that's not right. That's not right. Illinois will play the winner of Iowa or Ohio State. And then number 3 seed Nebraska will play between the winner of Indiana. They'll either get Indiana, Penn State, or Michigan. So those are the lineups. And then Saturday, obviously, is the semifinals, which will be on CBS. And then Sunday, 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, will be the championship game of the Big Ten Conference Tournament. All right. And let me share my screen because I think I can give you guys a better view of this. Let me see how this shows up. Is that showing up okay? Let's see. There we go. Let me take this down. And I still haven't figured out how to blow up this screen, man. Anyway, you can see the schedule right there in its entirety. And so it's going to be a fantastic week. I'm really looking forward to it. We always have a blast when we do these things. And so, and there's always surprise in the Big Ten Conference tournament. So really, really looking forward to it. Whew. All right, y'all. Let me get another tissue out here and blow my little Rudolph red nose. All right. Let's get to your questions. What's up, Doug Peterson? They played more than a little bit defense. They played a lot of defense. And I think you'll see that moving forward. I think that was they needed a reset because they had a week. They didn't have a week, but they had about 4 or 5 days before the Iowa game. And they gave them the day off the next day. They came in light the following day, but the next 2 days leading up to Iowa, they got after. And it showed. Danger Rogers and Moretti are difference makers for this team. Consistency is key. I agree. And here's the thing, Doug. They got time yesterday. Brad put them in early and left them in because they were playing well, but he left them in, and that gave the Illini a much deeper rotation. That's where I think Illinois gets in trouble sometimes. I think DeMass plays too many minutes sometimes. I think Shannon plays too many minutes sometimes. And so if you can get the bench involved and get them confident, now with the game that Moretti, Dane Danger, Ty Rogers had yesterday, that confidence can go and bleed over until the Friday's game when the Illini tip off in the Big Ten Conference tournament. Dayton Hollern. Illinois' defense has been much improved over the last 2. Did you see anything that changed, or was it just they put more effort? They put more effort, Dayton, and they got blasted in practice. Coach Underwood said he got the treadmill out. He was calling them everything but a child of God. He really got after him. He said it resembled a pre-season workout where they just really, really got after each other. And it showed. It showed. Hey, Paula, hope you're on. Okay, that was me trying to get back to her. Kevin McDuffie, what's good, my man? My man, get some water in you, bro. That's what this is. I got water, emergency, zinc. What's the other thing I was taking? And something else, but I got chills, body aches. It's not good, but thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that, man. Joe Grove said, I got the heebie-jeebies from Iowa. That's funny. Michigan State with another loss on them losing to Indy. They're reeling. And they were getting blasted. So I give Michigan State a lot of credit. I believe they were down 16 or 18 in that game. So they could have just folded tent, and they didn't. They came back and took the lead, actually, in the second half and fought back. But Indiana made the plays that they need to make in spite of Trey Galloway was on the bench for most of the second half, I heard, with an ice pack on his knee. So, Galloway played 7 minutes. And so 65-64 Indiana over Michigan State. So Indiana led 34-29 at half, but it was 26-10 at one point. Let me see if it was like it was 20-5. Then it was 22-7. It's 24-7. I think that was the largest. No, Yeah, 24-7, I think, was the largest lead. And then that's when it was like 26-10 at the 7:53 mark. Khalil Ware made a jumper, and then Michigan State got back into the game. So they had a poor start to the game, David. They fought back. They gave themselves a chance. They came up empty. So that, to me, that was a better effort. What's up, John Nelson? Go Hawks. Iowa got away with a lot of fouls that Illinois got called for yesterday. Illinois should have won by 25 easy. It's good to see the bench get some playing time going into the Big Ten tournament. I totally agree. Hoop baller Scoop. Why are you guys so fascinated on Xavier Booker? Look, Hoop baller Scoop, I love you. I love everybody that comes on this show. Why are you all fascinated with Xavier Booker? If he played 30 minutes, like, let me ask you guys something. Did Tom Izzo forget to coach all of a sudden? Did the principles that he's laid down for 30 years, did they go out of style this season? I don't understand why he's getting berated because he's not putting this stick figure in the game. This kid is not prepared to play more than 7 minutes. You're saying he's stubborn and it's his way or no way. Shit, it's worked the last 29 years. Why is this year any different? Do you think if that kid could help Michigan State win games that he wouldn't be on the floor? You guys, man, I'm sorry, Hoop Baller Scoop, not to bang on you, but people who criticize coaches forget one important idea, and it's this. Coaches get their money on wins and losses, more wins than losses. If they win, they keep their job, they keep getting their money, and they keep supporting their families. If they lose, like Brian Mullins at SIU, which he didn't really lose. He was 18 games over 500, but yet he was relieved of his duties at SIU, as was Dana. What's Dana's last name? At Missouri State. And, UIC fired Yaklich, which was surprising to me. So 3 teams in the Missouri Valley Conference lost coaches in the last couple of days. And the reason being is that the perception from the athletic director and the schools is that they weren't winning enough. There wasn't enough success. So when Tom Izzo brought Xavier Booker in, he's a talented kid. He's got upside. There's not a snowball's chance in hell that he's physically ready to go compete against Zach Edey for 5 minutes. Tom Izzo's trying to shelter this kid from losing his confidence. If you throw a freshman in the Big Ten that's not prepared physically and mentally to play, they might quit because they'll get punished. Guys, stop questioning Tom Izzo. You guys people that are questioning Tom Izzo are so short-sighted. How is this freshman supposed to get more minutes than Malik Hall or Madi Sissoko or Jackson Kohler and Carson Cooper, for that matter? You guys remember what Carson Cooper did last year in the Sweet 16 game, don't you? Against Kansas State. He balled out. So Xavier Booker's not prepared to ball out anything. And Tom Izzo knows what he's doing. So it's fascinating. Tom's been getting people, the media at Michigan State been riding him. It's like, what is this fascination with Xavier Booker? He's lighting the britches. If Xavier Booker went up against Dane Danger for 10 minutes, Dane would own his ass. This kid is not ready to play, guys. You're barking, in my opinion, you're barking up the wrong tree. I got a crazy one in my Big Ten tourney bracket. I think Penn State makes the semifinals, wins 3 games in 3 days, and loses to us. Hey, teams that play that style of play, where they can change it up and switch things up and get hot, because when Penn State can shoot the 3, they're pretty good. Now, they've been inconsistent shooting the 3, but when when they get hot and they find some consistency from long range, that opens up the driving lanes. Kudus Wahab has gotten a lot better as a post presence. So we've seen Penn State do this before, fly, Illini, fly. So it's going to be interesting to see. Yeah. Terrence Shannon was all over the place, man. What's good, Eddie Wells? Good to see you, my man. Thanks for tuning in. Wait a minute. Why do West Coast cities get tournament sites? There hasn't been any consistent West Coast teams other than Arizona and Gonzaga. Midwest sites, no matter who the teams are, always have the best attendance. You can't have discrimination geographically, Facebook user. That doesn't work. That goes against the spirit of March Madness and the tournament. That doesn't work. Iowa scored the lowest amount of points all season yesterday. Great defense by Terrence Shannon Jr. That hustle back block on dunk was amazing. Yes, it was. And it set the tone for his team. That really got his team going. And, they really fed off of that. I think you saw it Hoop Central when I was doing it. I hope you did. Thomas was getting killed the last month. Can a Hall of Fame coach just have an off year in terms of coach? Of course he can, Imani. And let me ask you something. Does sports radio know what they're talking about? Because here's the thing. Sports jocks, sports radio personalities are designed to develop and foster discussion. So they have to be lightning rod with what they say and do to get people to listen and to call into the shows and whatnot. So these sports jocks are fanning the flames of an area where Michigan State fans have had some frustration. It doesn't mean they know what the hell they're talking about. It really doesn't, Imani, because I've not seen. There's a brother that is on the air and I've seen him at Michigan State games. The other sports radio people in Michigan, I haven't seen very many of them at games. They sit in their radio studios and they can say whatever they want, but you never see them come to a game. I wonder why. So take with a grain of salt that sports jocks are designed to develop discussion and hit hot topics to get people engaged and activated, and it helps their view, their numbers. If Illinois can play similar, they don't have to be as good as they were yesterday, but if they can play similar level defense as they played at Iowa, with the right draw and the right seeding, they could get to the Final Four. That's how good they were yesterday defensively. What up, Black? Good to see you, brother. Big ups to John, who, if he ain't on the all-freshman team, we're going to riot the conference office. He'll be there. I think it's Edie Freeman and coaches Hoiberg. I had Edie Freeman. I got Ben Johnson from Minnesota. Okay. Coleman Hawkins was on it. He was I got Coleman Hawkins on the third team. He's on the third team ballot. All Big Ten. So I got Coleman in there. What's up, Frederick FB Blue? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for tuning in. Because Paul, I couldn't put everybody on the first team. Let me go back. And hold on, let me take your comment off the screen. So I'll mark this so I know to come back to that. Let me go over here. Who am I taking off this first team to put Marcus on? Zach Edey's on there. Terrence Shannon Jr. is on there. He's the second leading scorer. Zach Edey and Terrence Shannon Jr. are 1 and 2 scoring. Jameer Young is the third leading scorer. Boo Buie is an All-American, and Braden Smith should be on All-American. Marcus doesn't, in my opinion, he doesn't belong on there in front of these guys. They've had the body of work. Marcus has as well. That's why I put him on second team. I didn't put him on first team because these guys have they did their thing. Now think about it. He's second. He's all Big Ten second team coming from SIU, and he was the last one that I kept off the first team. So I like my list. Maybe you don't, but that's okay. That's all right. But thank you, Paula. Thank you for tuning in. Ron Charles, is there 1, 2, or 3 teams that are head and shoulders above the rest to you? Is Houston legit? Yes. Houston, UConn, and Purdue are the class. And then I think there's a slight drop off. North Carolina, Tennessee are right in there as well. But I think the top 3, if I had to rank them right now, I'd say Houston. Wow. I just think Houston's defense is suffocating. It's very difficult to run your stuff against them. You almost have to change what you do. So I'd put Houston overall number 1 seed. The way that Purdue is playing as of late, I'm surprised I'm saying this, but I'd give them a slight edge over UConn. And I'm not taking anything away from UConn. They are elite. They ran through the Big East. And there's a couple other Sweet 16, Elite 8 candidates in Marquette and Creighton in that league, and UConn handled them. So to me, it would be Houston, Purdue, and then UConn. And ironically, Ron, all 3 of those teams have identical records at 28-3. Thank you, Chuck Finney. I appreciate it. What's up, Mark? Good to see you. Coleman should be second team. Okay. Can't be down with Jameer Young over Marcus Damask. Okay, Wes. I hear you. Big ups to Shannon Jr., Lincoln Park Lion. That's what's up. Khalil Ware, when Khalil Ware went to college at Oregon, I think he was homesick. I don't think he really vibed very well with the coaching staff. And so they kind of put a bad word out on him that he wasn't really consistent, didn't play with a high motor. So he comes to Indiana, and he's still trying to find that motor, trying to find that consistency. And all of a sudden, he's found it. And he's playing outstanding basketball. And so he's the key to why Indiana's defense is first. The Hoosiers defensively are as good as anybody in the conference right now, especially in their last 4 games, all of which have been wins. Ware gives them an offensive he alone, Malik Renew, Indiana scores more of their points in the paint than anybody in the conference, even Purdue. And so Khalil Ware has been this is the guy that they thought they were going to get. He had 26 yesterday. Let me go back to this and see. Where's the box score? Yeah, Ware he was 13-19 from the field, 1 of 2 from the 3. He can't shoot the 3. Now he's 1 of 6 from the free throw line. That's a concentration thing. He had 28 and 12 on Michigan State. He's balling. And he could show out in March. Well, they got to get there first. Indiana's not even close right now. They've got to win. They've got to get to the championship game to even be in the discussion. They may have to win the whole thing to be in the discussion because they're not. Their numbers aren't very good right now. Okay, good. Curtis said he can't argue with that. Pooh, what's up? Bardo, real quick. What were your thoughts on the oh, yeah. No, Kim Mulkey didn't say she wished she maybe she did. Maybe she did. It was unfortunate, Pooh, and for those of y'all that may not know what Pooh is talking about, LSU and South Carolina were in the women's SEC championship game yesterday, and a big fight broke out. And there were so many players that got suspended. I think there were only 5 players from each side that were able to finish the game. Now, hopefully LSU and South Carolina are talented enough that the players that are left to play are talented enough to win a first-round matchup in the NCAA tournament, because the ladies that got kicked out of the game, they're going to be suspended for a game. NCAA is going to make a example out of these two teams. There might be more than one game suspension based on what they see going back over the video. So it was unfortunate. I hated to see it, Pooh, and hopefully both teams can get past it quickly and get back to full strength so that they can get back on their pursuit of a national championship. Oh, he does. Who would you take off though, Kevin? Who, if you're gonna put Terrence Shannon Jr., you're gonna take off Chucky Hepburn, second in the league in steals. Ace Baldwin was first in the league in steals. Cliff is first in blocks. Jawan Gary is similar to Coleman Hawkins. He can guard anybody and does a great job at it. So I don't know who you're gonna change, but you are a smart man, so I got to listen to you. No, Dory, I was getting ready to call the Illinois-Iowa game. I didn't get a chance to see it. Oh, okay. Yeah. I know not only will opposing Big Ten coaches be glad when Zach Edey leaves, the officials will be glad when Zach Edey leaves. He's so difficult to officiate. When you look at 7'4", 300 pounds, and the way that guy can move, he's really difficult to officiate. And opposing players try to get in front of Zach and draw contact and whatnot. So it's a tough deal. No, he didn't. No, they didn't see tired at all. What indication did you have that they seemed tired? Because when you go 14 points and 13 rebounds, you got a double-double. And Brad has been on him about getting on the glass. He had a double-double. And when I was talking to him in a post-game interview, he seemed good to me. He was good. So I think, yeah, the double bye really helps. That helps everybody, no doubt, if you're fortunate enough to get it. Wow. Scoop Hoop. AJ Hoggard has been kind of an enigma, so to speak, because of his special relationship with Tom Izzo and the fact that he just hasn't found a level of consistency. I don't know if I would go as far as to call him the most disappointing player, but I get what you're saying. I wouldn't go that far, but I see what you're saying. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, Ben Johnson's my pick, Wes. I love the job that he's done. CDNIU. Here's the thing. Iowa better come with a fat NIL check because Owen Freeman's going to get hit up from everybody. Gonzaga, Duke. Everybody's going to be hitting up Owen Freeman. So it'd be nice for him to see him come back to Iowa, but they better get their NIL together because he's going to require some money and a lot of it. Captain, I think. Well, let's take a look. Instead of me guessing, let's take a look. And I think we might be able to look together. Let's do a screen share real quick and put you guys on the ESPN site. And let's go over here. Hold on. Where is bracketology? Bracketology. There we go. All right. So we're talking about Wisconsin, right? So Lenardi, and I should be using Mike DeCourcy, but I don't know where that site is. Let's see where they got Wisconsin. So right now, wow, that's high. Now they got Wisconsin as a 6 seed, and their strength of schedule is incredible. They play Tennessee, Providence, Virginia, Marquette, Arizona, and then the Big Ten Conference. So they right now, according to Lenardi, are a 6 seed in the Eastern region. So I don't think they need to win a game. I think they're fine. Now, for their feeling good about themselves, they need to win a game, but I don't think they need to win a game to get in the tournament. I think their numbers are very strong. Be nice to see Illinois get some wins in the tournament, but Illinois in my lifetime has never beat teams they were supposed to. Were we supposed to be Syracuse? I think we were underdogs that game. Even though we were the number 1 seed, I think we were underdogs that game. Are you talking recently, Curtis? Yeah, let me know what you're talking about. What's up, Rich Dre, excuse me. Oh no, Edie. Look, if Purdue gets to the Final Four, it's Edie, because that's the only thing Purdue hasn't done is get. I don't think Purdue's ever gotten to a Final Four. Big Dog got them to the Elite Eight. If they get to the Final Four or they get a national championship, Edie's definitely the best player, and he still might end up being the best player in Purdue history. Just statistically, now stylistically, obviously Big Dog and maybe points and whatnot, but points, rebounds, blocks, and the team winning percentage, I think would go to Edie. Captain, right now, there are, I believe there are 6 teams right now in the Big Ten. Oh, no, they got 5. Hold on. So I guess they got Purdue, Illinois, Nebraska, Northwestern, and Wisconsin in. That's not right because Michigan State is in. I don't know why he dropped them down to 5. Somebody must have fallen out. I'll run through this real quick. There's Illinois, 4th seed in the South. That's 1. Nebraska, 9th seed in the South. That's 2. Wisconsin, 6th seed in the East. That's 3. Michigan State, 9th seed in the East. That's 4. Purdue, number 1 seed in the Midwest. That's 5. And Northwestern is number 8 seed in the West. That's 6. So they must have a typo down here because he says 5, but I just counted 6. So Purdue, Illinois, Northwestern, Nebraska, Wisconsin, and Michigan State as of right now. Must have said this last time. Might have said this last time, might not have. I think TSJ should be Defensive Player of the Year. He locks down the opposing team's best player night in, night out. What are your thoughts on the performance on D in Iowa? Tremendous. He's been tremendous. I don't take anything away from Terrence. And if he is Defensive Player of the Year, it could be warranted. It's going to be tough to beat Cliff Omori or Ace Baldwin Jr., but we'll see. UNC is playing as well as anybody, Curtis, and their defense has been really stellar this year. Hubert Davis really got them to lock in defensively, and they look really good. And RJ Davis is playing as well as anybody in the country, so that's not a bad choice. I don't like to predict who's going to win the tournament before I see the seedings and who's in their path. That's just how I do it. But Houston's had to overcome some injuries. They're kind of limping into the Big 12 conference tournament, but I still love the way that they play D. And LJ Cryer and Jamal Shed are two of they got the best backcourt in the country. Chad says, I have to say it's really disappointing that games are on Peacock. Illinois, Purdue, top 2 teams, they throw on another pay service when they have the Big Ten Network. Why? Chad, come on now. We can't get upset about what's the ship has left the dock. This is it is what it is, guys. It ain't going back. They're not going to simplify this for viewers. This is about money. Give y'all some of my my pesos. It's about money, guys. That's it. And they don't look, these conferences, they're in a mega race to get as much money as they can, right? This is what it's all about. So get over it. You can be upset. You can be disappointed. It ain't changing. These networks pay way too much money to these conferences, guys. The Big Ten is rolling in money. If the Big Ten network, and I know it's, well, let me look it up. How much does the Big Ten conference pay out to each Big Ten school for media rights? Let's see what comes up, because the number used to be 50 million. For example, the Big Ten expects its 7-year deal with CBS, Fox, and NBC to be lucrative enough to distribute 80 to 100 million annually to each member school. I'm going to say that now. You know what? I'm going to let y'all read it. I'm going to let you read it with me. Let's read it together, shall we? And it's in blue, so you can really see it. For example, the Big Ten expects a 7-year deal with CBS, Fox, and NBC to be lucrative enough to distribute between 80 million and 100 million every year for 7 years, right? So we're going to have 18 teams. We're going to have 18 teams in the Big Ten Conference next year, right? 18 teams. Let me do the calculator. 18 times 80 million. And I can't even get it. That's 1.4 with 9 zeros. Let me see what that looks like. Let me write this out because my calculator can't do it. Let me do it on here. Calculator. Because I just want you guys to see how much money we're talking about. And so, you're disappointed, and I get it. I get it. I really do. But 18 times 80 million, and we're doing the 80 million. One, that's 8. That's 1. Yep, that's 80. All right, equals 1, 2. That's 1.4 billion. Did y'all hear me right? That's 1.4 billion that they're going to pay out every year. So how much money are they making? And you're upset about the streaming service. They don't care, Chad, because, and I'm not banging on you, and I don't want you to get upset, but I want you to understand this. These corporations don't give a crap about us. And until we would come together as a group of people and make a mass exodus, or just say, we're not doing this. If you can't do that, then it's not going to happen. Because these networks, that's why they come to the Big Ten. That's why they come to the SEC, because these are two of the most passionate fan bases in those conferences in the country. These networks know that. And they know that people will be pissed off about the Peacock network. NBC don't care. They don't care. I'm sorry to break it down to y'all like that, but that's what it is. I'm inside of it. I see it. I'm one of the front-facing figures for the Big Ten Conference men's basketball side. That ship is sailed, ladies and gentlemen. Jay, would a Big Ten tournament win give Illinois a 3 seed in the tournament. Let's see. Let me see who are the other. Where's Illinois? 4. So Auburn's a 4. They got Auburn as a 4. They got. Where's the other 4s? Where's the 4 in the Midwest? I don't see them. You'd almost have to compare the teams that, like Kansas, who they have as a number 4, Alabama, Auburn, and Illinois, the number 4s right now. Kansas is reeling, and Hunter Dickinson's out with a separated shoulder. Kevin McCullough is dealing with a bone bruise in his knee, so Kansas is reeling. So you have to look at the number 4s that are there, and you also have to look at the number 3s. Duke, Kentucky. I don't know how the hell Kentucky got number 3 over Illinois, but that's for another day. Duke, Kentucky, Creighton, and Baylor. So if one of those 3, or one of those 4, Duke, Kentucky, Creighton, or Baylor, stumble somewhat, maybe an early loss in their conference tournament, that might open the door for Illinois to get a number 3 seed. You won Defensive Player of the Year. Do you think it should go to a lockdown defender, or do you think it should go to someone that can guard multiple positions? It seems like it goes to lockdown guards like Aaron Craft. It just depends on the players that are available in that season. I think it just kind of, whoever's available, whoever is playing the best defense, it changes sometimes. It's a big sometimes it's a lockdown guard. Sometimes guys like Ace Baldwin Jr., who are lightning quick guys who lead the league in steals. It just depends. How does Ty Ryers become a more effective offensive threat? I'm afraid teams just drip off him and play 5-on-4 defense. Every once in a while, he drives to the bucket or a putback. I think he's doing great. He had 8 points and 9 rebounds yesterday. I think he's doing great. Jay, I wouldn't want to win the Big Ten tournament championship because no team that's won the Big Ten tournament championship has done anything in the Big Ten tournament in recent memory. The way it's set up, again, I'm gonna go back, Chad. The Big Ten gets a ton of money. It ain't changing. CBS gives way too much money, and they know that there are a lot of people watching that Big Ten championship leading into Selection Sunday. It ain't changing. And if it's me, for the sake of a fun tournament, I wouldn't be upset to see one of the big heavyweights go out early. Big ups to Shannon Jr. Kid been killing it. Glad he's been redeemed. Yes, he has. Indiana Precision Solutions. I don't think I've seen you on here. If this is your first time, welcome to Bardo's Breakdown. Thanks for joining. I think Purdue versus Michigan State would be a better matchup than Minnesota. Minnesota's ability to shoot the 3 ball scares me a little bit. I agree with you. I think that'd be a better matchup, and especially for the network. They would love that. Chad, you're funny. Can you explain to short white guy why players that can clearly dunk it don't do it all the time? Your team dunked nonstop. We were pros, Chad. We were NBA players. That's different. If I was 6'9", 6'10", I'd be dunking nonstop. I got you, but I caution you guys to when you're comparing our era to this era, it's apples and oranges. We're not talking about the same level. Yes, Oregon and Washington will be joining USC and UCLA in the Big Ten starting in the fall. Football will kick it off. But yes, that will start in the fall. Don, you know what? I'm going to look this up for you. Let's see. NBA mock draft 2024. Let's see. The Ringer has a pretty good mock draft. Let's check out the Ringer and see if I can get you guys to see this. Can you guys see this? All right, let's go down and check out and let's look at it here. Kevin O'Connor, who does a fantastic job. What? He's got Reed Shepard. No, come on now. Going number 1? Wow. I didn't see that coming. I'd heard about this kid from France because the NBA are copycat leagues. So Wemby is everything. And so you see Alex Sarr from France. This kid, Zachary Sacker is from France. That's 2 and 3. Stephon Castle, UConn, has had a heck of a year. Ron Holland was going to come to college, but he went to the G League. Matas Bazulis is from the Chicago area. He did not go to college and went to the G League. There's another French kid, Long. Rob Dillingham, Kentucky. There's a Serbian young fella. Donovan Klingen from UConn. Cody Williams. Isaiah Collier. Wow. I don't see him in here. Hold on. There's Big Zach, 25. All right. So the Ringer didn't have Terrence. I don't know if they don't put him in there, Dawn, because of possible it might be possible that they don't want to put him in the mock draft because his legal status may still be a little bit up in the air. Alex Sarr, there you go. Reed Shepard. Wow, they got Reed Shepard going high. Okay, usual suspects here. Let's see. Jacoby Walter, Isaiah Collier, Filipowski, Zach Edey. Oh, wow, they got Zach going lottery. Kevin McCullough. There's Bazulis again. Ron Harper, Johnny Furphy, the freshman from Australia at Kansas. Oso Iguodaro, who I love at Marquette. DJ Wagner. Wow. Man, these things are all over the place. Justin Edwards. Jared McCain, Hunter Salas, Deron Holmes, Tyler Kolek. Okay. I guess they got him in the second round, Dawn. I thought he should definitely have first round consideration, but it doesn't look like they're giving him any love right now in the mock drafts, but we'll see. Let's see. What's up, Lee Anderson? In a team like Wisconsin that plays so well, what is the cause that causes a fade that they're in? Well, you know what I think it is, Lee? It's a chemistry situation sometimes. Guys fall out on teams. Wisconsin's an upperclassman team, so these guys are worried about their next step, where they're going. And so sometimes you get guys who are 1 foot out the door instead of being 2 feet in. Sometimes that happens. Maybe there's a guy like Connor Essegian that's a little bit upset that he's not getting playing time that he's used to getting because he was all freshman team last year. He's not getting the burn this year. He might have sore feelings about that. It might not be quite as good in the locker room. Sometimes those type of players sow dissent. I'm not saying that this is the case. I'm just giving you different examples of why Wisconsin might be going through what they're going through. Wow, my voice is held up. I cannot believe it. Let me get somebody I haven't answered yet. Like Michael. Michael, I don't think I've seen you before. If it's first time, welcome to Bardo's Breakdown. No, he won't be on the hot seat. It'll start to get a little warm, but he won't be on the hot seat. His body work has been impressive. It's been disappointing in the tournament last few years, but he won't be on the hot seat. Adam McHugh, do you lend any credence to the idea that the tournament committee undersees teams to create juicier matchups? Yeah, Adam, I think that when the NCAA comes up with this bracket and this tournament, they look for intriguing matchups, and obviously that was a great matchup that went against the Illini. There's a lot of things that go into it. Sometimes teams are seeded, and you're like, why did they get such a low seed, or why did they get such a high seed? So there's all of that, and then some in the mix. Oh, Curtis Deitch, you're talking about Xavier Johnson? Let's see. Who else? James Hamilton. I don't think I've seen you on here. Isaac Haas, Biggie Swanigan, AJ Hammers. Thank you very much for that. Jonathan Hood. Who are some of the assistants in the Big Ten looking to become head coaches in the near future? Algie sees my man. Thank you, Jay Hood. I think Tim Anderson in Illinois and Chester Frazier in Illinois should get a look. I think they're ready. I know Brandon Brantley is ready at Purdue. Who else? We go to Wisconsin. Joe Krabenhoff will probably be the next guy off of that bench. Minnesota. I don't know the assistant's great at Minnesota, so I'd be reluctant to put anybody's name out there. Ernie Ziegler at Nebraska has been a head coach at Western Michigan, and he was a longtime assistant under Ben Howland. He'd be a guy that I would like to see get another opportunity. Mark Montgomery and Doug Wojcik at Michigan State have both been previous head coaches. Wojcik at Navy. Mark Montgomery at Northern Illinois. I think both of them are more than capable of stepping into a head coaching role. I think Sadie Washington and Howard Isley at Michigan, I think they're ready for an opportunity. I think Jake Diebler has shown he's doing a fantastic job right now as an interim head coach. I think he's ready. Yasir Rosemond and Kenya Hunter in Indiana. Those two are definitely ready, in my opinion. Who else am I missing? I know why Jay Hood's asking this question, ladies and gentlemen, because Jay Hood is the voice of UIC Flames men's basketball, and even with a double overtime victory in the first round against SIU, UIC, I believe, got beat in the second round of Arch Madness, the Missouri Valley Conference tournament, and they let go of their coach. So UIC is in, along with SIU and Missouri State out of the Missouri Valley Conference, are looking for new head coaches. Yeah, I am Fly Illini Fly, because thank you very much. Because what I'm going to do in the offseason, I've spoken with Raphael Davis of the Big Ten Network, and we're gonna come up with some creative things to do in the offseason, like do some interviews, come up with some lists, debate about hot topics, things like that. So we're gonna continue to do this in the offseason. So thank you very much, and thank you for your support. I appreciate it. That would be fun, Roddy. That'd be a hell of a game, wouldn't it? Especially the way the Illini are playing defense right now. Curtis Dietz, 84, 89, 2001, 2005 would be the best years for Illinois. Did Illinois beat anyone? They were underdogs in any years. Past doesn't mean anything, especially when you have different players. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that one there. Let's see. Let's see. Was so thrilled to see Dane. Yeah, I was too, Paula. Was so thrilled to see Dane play a role in the Iowa game. I've forgotten how nice it was to have someone like that in the mix since Kofi left. He sticks. Hope he sticks around. Yep. I agree. It was good to see. Uh, let's see. No, Alan, I don't want to call people cheap. I don't think that's what it is necessarily. I think it's fatigue. It's app fatigue. You got to get all these different. You got to go to these different places to get what you want. And I think what it's not the price; it's the fatigue of having to get yet another app. And for people that are my age or older, we've become better technologically over the last decade because we had no choice. But some of us are still reluctant. Not me, because I got sons who keep me up on most of this stuff. But a lot of adults who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, they don't want to get another app and have to figure it out and all that. It's not hard, but it's app fatigue more than anything. I don't want to call people cheap. I just think it's app fatigue. Winning the Big Ten tournament. Wow, you guys have been great today. My goodness. Case, as long as I get paid, if the networks assign me the Illinois games, sign me up, baby. I am, because my color is green. It's orange and blue, when I was hooping and all that, and I love Illinois, but I love green more. What's up, Derek Tyshawn Breland? Yeah, man. Come on, man. Really? I know the dude can hoop. He can hoop. I'm not saying he can't hoop, but boy, folks have fallen in love with him all overnight. Let's see. Kevin McDuffie, you putting me on the spot here, man. Do you think Howard is out at Michigan? I don't think so. I hope not. I hope he comes back. And I hope he gets an offseason of rest and recovery. You guys, he had a very serious heart condition. Very serious. He probably came back a little sooner than he should have. So my hope above anything else is that he gets healthy. But I do think he'll be back next year. Let me get Chad. I'm taller by an inch. Kendall 6'5", I'm 6'6". Dory. Now Dory's got this is a great idea. I got to pin this one. It's funny. Kevin would love to come on here, and I haven't gotten him on here yet, but I'm going to, and just to have fun and talk stuff because that's my friend. I love Kevin Kugler. That's a good friend of mine. I love Brandon Gauden. I love Lisa Byington. I'm very fortunate that I really care about the people that I work with. So that's a great, great idea, and I think I will probably try to get that done. This is the comment of the day. Dave, you're gracious, brother. This touched my heart. It's making me laugh because it's funny as heck. Because I guess my wig, yeah, I need to get it cut, man. It's when you're traveling and the barbershops aren't open on Mondays, you gotta wait Tuesday through Saturday. Tuesday through Saturday, I'm working a lot. So yeah, I need a cut. My man. Hey, send me a note, Dave. I'll check you out. I'll try you one time just for you coming on doing that. That's pretty good. Oh my gosh. Well, that'll do it, guys, because my voice is almost gone, as you can hear. This has been a great, great time. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys make this what it is. I hope you're getting value out of this, as much value as I'm getting from doing it and coming and being with you guys for this hour or so. It's been great. Thank you so much. Best time of the year, March Madness is here. I won't sound like a dead frog next time I'm on the air. I will get my stuff back together, and I look forward to seeing your feedback during the conference tournament because I'm gonna come on and do shorter stuff. Join the text tribe 312-847-2739. I'm gonna do a lot of quick hitting stuff on there as well. Thank you guys so much. Love you all. Have a great week and welcome to March Madness. Until next time, holla y'all.